out of this session. For today's session, we have Dr. Ashmita Huddar ma'am. Dr. Ashmita Huddar ma'am is the principal of CCYM, Ashwadwani College of Special Education. It is a state-aided college affiliated to University of Mumbai and accredited by National Assessment and Accreditation Council. The college offers B.Ed in Hearing Impairment and B.Ed in Learning Disability. Dr. Huddar ma'am is active in field of disability management and special education for more than 3 decades. Collaboration, rationalism, and empathy are her core values. She is the first Indian postdoc Fulbright scholar in education of children with deafness. She was the chairperson of the Board of Studies in Special Education at University of Mumbai for 2 tenures. She is instrumental in establishing Center of Disability Studies and evolving disability policy for University of Mumbai. 3 students have completed PhD under her guidance. She contributed in development of several textbooks for many universities for diploma, bachelor's, and master level. Research, inclusion, language assessment, curriculum development, and Indian Sign Language are areas of professional interest. Please join me extending a warm welcome to Dr. Huddar ma'am. With her impressive background and wealth of knowledge, ma'am will bring a unique perspective today on managing soft documents. We are honored to have her expertise in this discussion. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Abhi, for a wonderful introduction. And happy to see you all. Hope you are enjoying your vacation period as well, balancing it with your, curriculum and fun activities. So yes, so far maybe in Abhasi you must have done high-tech topics where you learned so many things. My topic is low-tech in the sense it is more about personality and more about a life skill that I would like to share on rather than teaching anything. So it is about managing the soft content in our life. क्या होता है हमारे पास इतना सारा इंफॉर्मेशन डॉक्यूमेंट्स पेपर वर्क रहता है which is very important and which we need to preserve and save properly, and that is a life skill, that how do we manage the data that we may need. And I haven't done any course in this, and this is actually nothing to do with special education, but over the period of times मैंने देखा people are very poor at this skill. So I thought, what has been working with me, what has worked with me, and what are my conclusions about how people don't manage their data well, unka kaise problem aata hai. So this is all very personalized tips that I'm going to give you. As I said, there is no formal learning that I have done, but you can look at it as my professional judgment dealing with people at various, at public sector, like at RCI, university, different colleges, colleagues, students, personal contacts, professional contacts. So, all this, interacting with them, dealing with them, collaborating with them, working with them, there were many things that I picked up, and there were many conclusions that I drew ki, oh my God, this doesn't work. So it is just sharing my wisdom and giving you an opportunity to pick up the points that you want to pick up, and at the end to evolve your own strategy in life, to store your data, to be able to have access. ये बहुत जरूरी है कि जो भी हमारे पास है उसका एक्सेस हम इमीडिएटली खुद को एक्सेस होना जरूरी है. So you all can see my screen.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, thank you. So this is what I mean by managing soft content in your life. What do I mean by content? By content, I here mean documents, certificates, records, data. Now, this could be personal, professional, academic, all kinds of things. Like you have your SSC certificate, you have your Aadhaar card, you have your mutual fund certificate, you have your certificate of some short-term training you have done. Anything you have, maybe have your property papers, maybe you have your academic papers. All this I'm calling content, and I want you to be better organized in preserving two things, in preserving and accessing your own data, your own information. देखो information तो आप ही की है और आप ही के पास है, मगर पर अगर जब आपको चाहिए तब मिलती नहीं है, तो then what is the use? So basically the information one needs permanently or for a long term, that is what I'm calling content. And I want to know what are your strategies to maintain that and to be able to have access to that. So how do you really save things and store things for long term? That is what is important. And of course, what is the purpose? अभी जो पूरा लेक्चर मैं दूंगी और आपको बताऊंगी ये करिए, ये टिप्स है, ऐसे करिए, ऐसे नहीं करिए, etc. etc. So what is the purpose of that? The whole purpose of this is you should have access to it and you should be able to share it when it is required. Right? बहुत बार आपने एक्सपीरियंस किया होगा और मैं भी करती हूँ, of course, that somebody asks for something and then you want to take a break, think and say give me 8 days, I'll be able to give you, मैं आपको अगले हफ्ते देती हूँ. All this is because I take time to decide कि वो मैंने कहाँ रखा है. And you know what, I'm talking about offline also and online also. In the sense, अगर आपने मुझे कहा कि आपका बीएड का सर्टिफिकेट देखना है मैडम या चाहिए, so two ways. One is that BEd certificate which is there in my personal drawer, and of course uska scanned copy I may have saved somewhere, right? So how quickly do I access that is important. And सबसे important point I want you to pay attention to is being organized while keeping it so that you have access while retrieving it. सिंपल प्रिंसिपल है, रखते समय ध्यान से रखेंगे तो मिलते समय आसान होगा. Right? I am sure nothing new I'm telling you. Your parents must have told you this all the time, and personality wise some people are organized, some people are less organized, and some people are absolutely not organized. So just it is for you to judge yourself where you stand. And organization, mental organization, physical organization and digital organization. हमारा सोचना जो है वो संगठित होना चाहिए, हमारी चीजें रखना जो है वो संगठित होना चाहिए, और हमारा जो डिजिटल लाइफ है, डिजिटल फंक्शनिंग है, ऑनलाइन लेवल पे हम जो भी करते हैं वो भी ऑर्गेनाइज्ड होना चाहिए. तो इसके लिए हम जहां पे भी है, इवन इफ यू थिंक आई एम वेरी ऑर्गेनाइज्ड, स्टिल देयर इज अ स्कोप to move on and become yet more organized. So what do you really do with your content? Basically, you need to classify them, sequence them, and most important, and बहुत बार missing point is label them. So जो भी मेरे पास, suppose मेरे पास इतना चीजें हैं जो मुझे रखने हैं अस्मिता हुद्दार, so I need to classify that. Maybe I classify as personal, academic, फाइनेंशियल, कॉलेज रिलेटेड, प्रोफेशनल, 4 फोल्डर मैं करूंगी, राइट? फिर रखते समय फिजिकली मैं अभी बता रही हूँ, एंड ऑफ कोर्स वी आर गोइंग टू सी ऑनलाइन हाउ डू वी डू, ऑनलाइन इन द सेंस सॉफ्ट कॉपीज हाउ डू वी डू इट. सो मैंने क्लासिफाई किया, मेरे पास इतने डॉक्यूमेंट्स है, मैंने 4 फोल्डर्स में या 4 स्लॉट्स में कैटेगराइज किया, पर्सनल, प्रोफेशनल, फाइनेंशियल एंड एकेडमिक, राइट? So ये हो गया फर्स्ट स्टेप, दैट इज क्लासिफिकेशन. देन होगा यू मस्ट सीक्वेंस इट. लाइक अगर ड्रॉवर में रखना है तो मेरे पर्सनल या एकेडमिक कभी मुझे रोज रोज लगते नहीं है, मे बी महीने में एक बार, साल में 2-3 बार मुझे लगेंगे, विल बी फाइनेंशियल फोल्डर. सो आई विल सीक्वेंस इट सच दैट ऊपर फाइनेंशियल आ जाएगा जो फ्रीक्वेंटली लगता है. सो दैट इज सीक्वेंसिंग. एंड मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट एज आई सेड इज लेबलिंग. So that every time I don't have to pull 4 folders, see which one is the academic one. there are levels to that. Again, as I said, आपको जरूर ऐसे लगेगा कि क्या दोपहर में एक आभासी का सेशन लिया और हमको ये बेसिक चीजें बताई गई, बट एज आई जज द सोसाइटी अराउंड, बेसिक चीजें भी लोग नहीं करते हैं. सो वी आर जस्ट गोइंग टू सी हाउ थिंग्स look when they are random. Random means not organized. There's no planning, there's no thought gone into it. How things look when they are systematic and how things look when they are organized. Now I'm sure you know, random तो आपको पता है कि किसको कहेंगे. But systematic and organized में क्या फर्क है? Anybody wants to share? How do you differentiate between systematic and organized? Anybody wants to share? Yeah? Is there a difference between being that person is systematic but not organized? ऐसा कहा तो उसका मतलब क्या है? Okay, so when we say somebody is systematic, it may mean that his or her table looks neat. See, you can see in the second pic, everything is piled up, looks quite okay, right? But being organized means just look okay nahi hai. They are classified, sequenced and labeled. Yeah, Prathamesh, bolo.
Systematic is kind of a narrow term and organized is a broad term. True. In my opinion.
Yeah, true. But yeah, very true, Prathamesh. But the very difference is look mein acha dikhna is systematic. That means these papers you can see, they are okay stack करके टेबल पे किसी के है, तो it gives the impression कि अरे अच्छे से लगा के रखे हैं. But इसमें से कुछ ढूंढना हो तो you will have to go through each paper. But if you see this is organized. That means if I have to look for something, there are some numberings there, there's some sequencing there, there's some labeling there. So what Prathamesh said is right, कि थोड़ा सा narrow term है systematic, but more importantly, I feel one level ahead. Being organized is one step ahead of being systematic. Systematic सिर्फ आंखों को खुश करेगा, you know, but organized will help you manage your life. And मैं इसलिए इसमें फर्क महसूस आपको करना सिखा रही हूँ और मुझे लगता है आप attention pay करेंगे. There are people who are extremely systematic, but not organized. मतलब उनके टेबल, उनका स्टेशनरी का ड्रॉवर, उनका कबर्ड सब बहुत दिखने को अच्छा दिखेगा. But if you ask कि वो वाला ब्लू शर्ट दे दो जो तुमने शादी में डाला था, then they don't have the classification that, you know, office के कपड़े and celebration वाले कपड़े या whatever. So being organized is one step ahead of being systematic. Being systematic just is eye pleasing, दिखने को अच्छा है, but access, अपनी खुद की चीजों का access will give you when you are more organized. So what we are going to see today is what are the different ways we can organize things, and going beyond being the systematic person. अगर आप मुझे बोलेंगे मेरा एग्जाम्पल दे, तो ऑन माई टेबल थिंग्स डोंट लुक वेरी सिस्टमैटिक, दिखने को बहुत अच्छे नहीं दिखेंगे, बट आई फील आई हैव ऑर्गेनाइज देम वेल. तो मेरा फाइल के ऊपर फाइल शायद नहीं रहेगा, बिकॉज आरसीआई की फाइल्स ये बाजू में है, यूनिवर्सिटी के ये बाजू में है, स्टूडेंट रिलेटेड, कॉलेज रिलेटेड ये बाजू में. वो फाइल टेढ़ी मेढ़ी हो सकती है, बट उनका जगह पक्का है. And that is the difference between systematic and organizing. So if you are systematic, excellent, that's good. But going beyond that is something very important. Okay, and why do we do all these things? So I'll tell you a story which my father used to tell us, and the way he used to look at things about being organized. And whenever people tell me that I'm very organized, either in my thoughts or in my processes or content or drafts, then I remember him because that is this is the value that he passed down to us. So that's why I've named this Papa Kehte Hai. So my father used to do these things when we were kids, that he would ask for something, that stapler de do ya ghar mein whatever it is, क्या small hanky दे दो और eraser दे दो. And that time and अगर evening है, late evening है या night का time है, he would tell us that light नहीं लगाना. You go to your table and you get your history homework notebook without turning on the light. And this used to be a challenge for us siblings, and we used to be very happy doing that and impressing him. So in the bargain हम लोग organized हो गए कि अंधेरे में भी हमारी चीजें वही मिलेंगी जहाँ छोड़ी है. Again, I am not, at that time we were talking about actual things, stapler and history notebook वगैरह वगैरह. But now we are going to move this conversation to digital saving, preserving and accessing the data and the content in your life. So what my father would say is, one must find things. See, जब सब आसान है, simple है, there is lot of time, and then somebody asks you something, there is no stress, अच्छा उजाला है, जल्दी नहीं है, and then you will be able to give कि चलो ये ले लो, ये तो ठीक है. But sorry, 1 minute, I will have to take a call. Just give me a minute. Sorry. So one must find things, my father used to say, after 5 years. So आज आपने कुछ रखा है, वो 5 साल के बाद में 1 मिनट में आप दे सके, तो you are organized. If you can find your things in darkness, then you are organized. If you find your things in crisis, this is something absolutely important. जब स्ट्रेस होता है, कुछ चीज ढूंढते हैं हम लोग कि आधे घंटे में मुझे इलेक्ट्रिसिटी बिल देना है जून 22 का सोसाइटी को. हाउ डू यू रियली फाइंड दैट? सो इन क्राइसिस, जब स्ट्रेस है, कोई सर पे खड़ा है एंड डेडलाइन इज गोइंग, मुझे ढूंढना है कहाँ रखा है. सो इन क्राइसिस, इफ यू आर एबल टू एक्सेस योर ओन डेटा, then you are organized. And one more very important thing I tell my team also in the college is in absentia. मतलब अगर मेरे लैपटॉप पे मुझे कुछ ढूंढना है, कुछ चीज चाहिए, over the call, if I tell you कि अभी go to my room, open my laptop, and then I'll tell you मुझे क्या डॉक्यूमेंट चाहिए, and then I'll be able to tell you कि सेकेंड ड्राइव में जाना, देन वहां से फोल्डर का नाम ये है, वो फोल्डर खोलो तो उसके अंदर ये फोल्डर है, एंड उसके अंदर ये नाम का डॉक्यूमेंट है, you mail me that document. So in absentia means if we are organized, then we are able to give instructions when you are not there, and yet you get the access. Same like hard चीजों के बारे में जब हम बोलते हैं कि ओके मुझे ये मेरी चाबी चाहिए, सो मेरे घर में जाओ, 3 कबर्ड्स है, उसमें से बीच का कबर्ड खोलो, ऊपर से दूसरा ड्रॉवर, राइट हैंड कॉर्नर में आपको चाबी मिलेगी. होते हैं ना ऐसे लोग, आई एम श्योर आप में से भी ऐसे लोग होंगे. इट इज अगेन नॉट जजिंग एनीबडी. सो ऐसा नहीं मैं बोल रही हूँ लेस ऑर्गेनाइज्ड पीपल आर लेस हैप्पी और ऐसे होना नहीं चाहिए. आई रियली डोंट वांट टू जज एनीबडी और रियली डोंट वांट टू प्रिस्क्राइब एनीथिंग, ऐसा करना है ऐसे नहीं करना है. आई जस्ट वांट टू शेयर कि ऑर्गेनाइज्ड होने से लाइफ सॉर्टेड हो जाता है, स्ट्रेस कम हो जाता है, एंड ऑब्वियसली people around you are happier. This is again something very important my father told me, and I always tell my daughter, is the biggest advantage of being organized is people around you are stress free. अगर कुछ आपको मांगा है, आप दे सकते हो तो दे सकते हो, नहीं दे सकते हो तो you can always tell ये मेरे पास नहीं है. So there is a clarity and things move on faster. So it is, it's if you are organized, you are a better person to deal with for others. So if that is what you want, then you can, improve your organizational skills. So anything that you can get after long time, आज कुछ रखा है 10 साल के बाद, कैसे आपने स्ट्रेटेजिकली रखा है कि 10 साल के बाद भी आपको एक्सेस है, कैसे एक्चुअल चीज है तो डार्कनेस में भी एक्सेस है, crisis में when you are stressed out, that time also you should have access, and of course when you are not around for whatever reasons, others if you want, confidential document की नहीं मैं बात कर रही हूँ, but कुछ urgent है, फोन पे बता के आपको retrieve करना है, that should be possible, and that happens when you are organized. So it is about our own happiness, it is about making things simpler and clear for others. Now, for example, if I ask you, send me your A3 assignment, and this my message to you is in 2028, what will be your response? बताइए, अगर 2028 में एक सडनली आपको मेरा WhatsApp आ जाता है, हाय, how are you, Prathamesh, can you quickly send me your A3 assignment in your whatever semester 1? ऐसे मैंने 5 साल के बाद आपको कहा. So what will be your response, you think? क्या लगता है आपको? Anybody? Anybody wants to share?
Ma'am,
कॉलेज में सबमिट किया है.
Your own copy, please. Chinmay. So college का copy तो we will try to access, but for some reason नहीं है. And if I have soft copy, your own soft copy, how sure are you? Not only Chinmay, everybody I'm asking. How sure are you that you will be able to give it to me? I hope you will not
ma'am.
say. I hope you will not say, Asmita Huddar, ये कौन है? ये किसका मैसेज आ गया है? Yeah, bolo. Tell me, Chinmay.
Yeah, I wasn't the one responding earlier. But anyways, like I have made compartments in my PC. So under like my name, I have B.Ed Sem 3, B.Ed Sem 2, B.Ed Sem 1. And inside of that, I have like folders for each subject. So for D17, C14, C15. So,
Correct.
and when I store it, I first like write the subject code and what task it is. So I automatically come to know what the task was. Yeah. So I think
Perfect.
I'll be able to share if you ask the.
Yes, yes. So you will be able to share it. You can just quickly say, ma'am, give me an hour and I will share. Right?
Yes.
Yeah, wonderful, wonderful. Chinmay, आप निकल सकते हो ये सेशन से. You have arrived and you have achieved. But yeah, I'll tell you really on a little serious note, बहुत कम लोग होते हैं. I have seen this out of 10, I will say 8 of them are not sure. And one may say ki, ma'am, give me a week and then I'll be able to give you. And then there are, of course, some people will say, okay, give me 10 minutes and I'm sending it to you. So again, it is not about pleasing anybody. It is not about proving any point. It is not about impressing anybody. It is about managing our own life. So again, I'm telling you, I am not judgmental about less organized people. There are advantages of being less organized. But what I feel, what I would like to share is, if you want to, have a stress-free life where we have so much of content, which is important. पहले के जमाने से इतना ज्यादा डॉक्यूमेंट्स हमारे पास आज होते हैं, बैंक रिलेटेड, पर्सनल, फाइनेंशियल, एकेडमिक, कि उनको अगर हमने ठीक से मैनेज नहीं किया तो we may be little more unhappy but may end up in problems as well. So, and then everybody has their own type of personality. What would they prefer? So I always use this analogy कि कौन से type का cupboard आपको पसंद है. If it comes to, and then when we are going to talk about content, basically we will talk about any type of content, whether that's online, soft copy or hard documents. Hard documents को manage करना भी एक science and art है. So many of the tips that I share, many of the my own life conclusion that I want to share with you are applicable to all these three areas. सबसे वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट अगेन बहुत लोगों से मिस होता है. अगर आपकी सर्टिफिकेट्स की हार्ड फाइल है, उसका जो नाम होगा वही स्कैन्ड कॉपीज के फोल्डर का नाम होगा, तो दैट ऑल्सो रियली वर्क्स वेल. सो इन ट्यून विथ ईच अदर. जो आपका हार्ड डॉक्यूमेंट है, ऑनलाइन डॉक्यूमेंट्स है, एंड ऑफलाइन सॉफ्ट डॉक्यूमेंट्स है, राइट? जो आपके पीसी में या आपके लैपटॉप में या आपके फोन में. I'll tell you, when I take this session and when I asked कि आपके जो फोटोज रहते हैं, हर एक के फोन में 10,000 फोटोज रहते हैं. So how many of you are using folders to save those photos? How many of you are using folders to save your documents, images? That is again absolutely necessary. So your soft document and your hard file should have similar name and in tune with each other. That again, see, if you remember, uddishta kya hai? To finding the document in absentia, after long time, and in crisis. अगर ये objective है, तो there is no option to being more organized. And then, yeah, and when you save anything in life, it is called triple saving. That means you save the hard copy, because you may get a university degree, certificate. So many a times, see, so many times we find students not finding their hall ticket. जब पेपर रीवैल्यूएशन को जाता है या मार्कशीट के करेक्शन के टाइम, हॉल टिकट इज अ मस्ट. एंड एग्जाम के बाद वो हॉल टिकट कहाँ गया पता नहीं है, मिल नहीं रहा है. इट इज सो कॉमन. सो दैट हार्ड कॉपी नीड्स टू बी सेव्ड, सॉफ्ट कॉपी नीड्स टू बी सेव्ड ऑफलाइन. दैट मीन्स आपके फोन में पिक होगा या आपके लैपटॉप में फोल्डर होगा जिसमें वो स्कैन कॉपी जाएगी. एंड मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टेंटली, this is a habit that I 100% I endorse that you should have, is mail the document to yourself. So you mail the document to yourself and then you have a folder in your inbox, exam related documents. That's it. You will receive the mail, you send to yourself, you will move the mail in that folder. This is absolutely essential. Like I said, it is personal choice. You can see 3 types of cupboards. एक कबर्ड वो है कि जहाँ कोई कंपार्टमेंट्स ही नहीं है. तो मतलब जब आप फोल्डर बनाते नहीं हो या मेल में इनबॉक्स में किसी के फोल्डर्स नहीं होते हैं, बहुत सारे लोग होते हैं. आई एम वेरी हैप्पी, आई विल बी वेरी हैप्पी इफ यू से नहीं हमारे पास तो सबके पास इनबॉक्स में फोल्डर्स है. वेरी गुड. बट देर आर पीपल, बिकॉज दिस इज नॉट अ सिलेबस ऑफ एनी कोर्स. ना एसएससी, एचएससी, ना बीए, बीकॉम, बीएससी, ना बीएड, एमएड में ये पढ़ाया जाएगा कि हाउ डू यू मैनेज योर इनबॉक्स. ईमेल का इनबॉक्स किस तरह से मैनेज करते हो. सो अगर आप मैनेज क्या करना है, मेल्स आती है और गिरती रहती है. सो दैट इज दिस टाइप ऑफ अ कबर्ड. एक ही कबर्ड है, खोलो अंदर सब मिलेगा. देन सम पीपल प्रिफर दिस काइंड ऑफ कबर्ड वेयर देयर इज ब्रॉड कैटेगरीज. And then there are people who believe in this kind of organization where they want a bigger folder, in that a smaller folder, in that relevant folder, so that the path, it is called the path or the access is very clear. And again, our objective is to find things in stress, in absentia, and in crisis promptly. So my personality type says that this cupboard works well. Again, so up to you. You will have to evaluate your personality, see what works with you. Have any strategy, not the strategy which I'm telling you, or whatever my father gave us some of the strategies, not that strategy, but any strategy. Strategy होना जरूरी है. If you feel कि क्या है, आते रहते डॉक्यूमेंट्स हम रखते हैं अच्छे से, उसमें क्या strategy है, then you may end up in a problem where you will not find something that you are looking for. Now, managing your soft documents, something very important is how many email IDs do we really maintain. There is no hard and fast rule for this, but please avoid one email ID for everything. personal भी वही है. Now soon you will become professionals, so professionals also same, you know, and academic also same. That actually is not a good way of dealing with things. It is, you know, like I said, ये जो दूसरा कपाट है या this कपाट, cupboard, you need to organize, and उसके लिए you will have to make compartments, folders, subfolders. I'll tell you many a times, ऐसे लगता है कि बड़े फोल्डर में एक फोल्डर है, उसमें 3 फोल्डर्स है, उसमें 2 फोल्डर्स है, वो 2 में से एक खोलो तो उसमें 2 फोल्डर्स है. ओ माय गॉड, ये बहुत किचकिच लगता है. नहीं है ऐसा. इनफैक्ट if all the folders are named properly, you will have a ready path and you will reach your document. That is what is important, right? You know how organized you are, which means how quick access you have to your own material. So about password also same thing, but I will not talk about that, sharing and saving the passwords. But definitely one more tip would be, if you have 2-3 different IDs and which you must, then try breaking the pattern. अगर एक गूगल का है तो याहू का दूसरा है, try doing it. There are a few benefits of that. Okay. Again, now inbox management, I'm going to show you some of the images and going to talk about this. What is the time? Okay, ठीक है. But understand the concept of CC and BCC. Now I know you all know this very well, so I'm not going to go into detail here. But something very important is using the symbol system in inbox. Again, I have seen very less number of people, students, colleagues, whoever, professionals, personal neighbors, friends, relatives. Very less number of people use the symbol system which is available in the, you know, Google or even I guess Yahoo. People don't use it. So that quickly we are going to see. Sign off जो रहता है हर एक मेल के नीचे आता है. I'll show you the sample. You must be knowing it. I have been sending you mails. So नीचे जो लिखा रहता है, having a standard sign off, that is also extremely important. That is a very professional way of dealing with things. And very important is, if I ask you to write down what is your delete policy, then maybe you haven't given a thought to this, or maybe you have not obviously written it down somewhere, but there is a pattern that I'm sure you all follow. But just be aware of it, and rather than doing it casually and randomly, just, you know, close your eyes and sit for 5 minutes and think about what is your delete policy? What do you delete? When do you delete? Basically, how do you delete, whether a mail is to be saved or let it lie in the inbox, or you simply delete it. So please don't think, ये जब भी मैं पूछती हूँ, अभी ऑनलाइन तो इतना इंटरैक्टिव नहीं होता है, बट ऑफलाइन जब भी मैं ये पूछती हूँ, there are many people who say delete करते ही नहीं है कुछ. Again, maybe that is not a good stand. You know, delete, कुछ चीजें delete करेंगे तो बाकी के चीजों का access बढ़ता है. Very simple. अगर आप कबर्ड में पुराने शर्ट या पुराने सलवार कमीज निकालेंगे नहीं, तो नए मिलने में प्रॉब्लम ही होगा, एंड ऑफ कोर्स स्टोरेज का भी प्रॉब्लम होगा. सो आई डोंट डिलीट एनीथिंग इज नॉट अ गुड आंसर. But if you have a policy, what makes you decide whether a particular mail needs to be saved or let it lie in the inbox or delete is very important. Very, very important. The one thing I would like to, you know, draw your attention is to earlier versions. Now, suppose if I send you a notice, and then after half an hour, I quickly write to you, sorry, ignore the earlier student notice. Here is the new one. So deleting the earlier one is very important, because 3 दिन के बाद कोई आपसे पूछेगा वो एच मैडम ने जो नोटिस भेजा था वो है क्या, and you will quickly look into the inbox and you may forward the incorrect one. So earlier version is a very very tricky area. बहुत बड़ी बड़ी गलतियां होती है लोगों से because they have not saved the final version of the document carefully with a rename. I'm going to tell you how do you save the final version, to use the symbol system to give the label to the file and folder. That we are going to see. So like Shakespeare said, what is in the name? And those who are organized, they feel everything is in the name. If you write your name of your file folder properly, then you will have access. And same is the case, आगे चल के वो point आएगा, but let me share it at this point. Same is the case of subject of your email. Never write an email without a subject. Never write subject as general as letter, application, notes, PPT. Never write subject like this. Because that, I mean, उससे अच्छा है ना लिखो. Time बर्बाद है. Because 15 letters है, 100 PPTs है. Right? So the subject PPT just doesn't mean anything. So जब आप subject लिखते हैं या file folder का नाम लिखते हैं, जितना आप, I'm going to show you some of the samples also. जितना आप specific लिखोगे, उतना आपको access रहेगा crisis में, absentia में, and darkness में, and when you want things quickly, right? जब आप नहीं रहेंगे, and of course long term में. You don't have to memorize things if you have a system. So अगर मुझे पता है कि ऐसे मेरी फोल्डर की सिस्टम है, then I don't have to memorize, because 10 साल के बाद भी मुझे कुछ ढूंढना है, I know my path. कि हाँ मुझे शायद ये फाइनेंशियल इसमें फोल्डर में मुझे मिल जाएगा. Then I go to financial folder, then हाँ ये म्यूचुअल फंड में मिल जाएगा या ये फिक्स डिपॉजिट में मिल जाएगा. If I have folders like that and if I have given the names like that, अगर मैंने फोल्डर्स भी क्रिएट किए, लाइक अगर आपने 4 फोल्डर्स क्रिएट किए, सेमेस्टर 1, सेमेस्टर 2, सेमेस्टर 3, सेमेस्टर 4, एंड सेमेस्टर 1 में A1, A2, C13 whatever are your numbers, फोल्डर्स क्रिएट किए, डॉक्यूमेंट रखे, बट उसको ये नाम ही नहीं दिया बराबर, देन अगेन दैट विल नॉट serve any purpose. So giving name to files, folders, to your images, to your documents, to your subject to your mail is extremely important. And of course, in your name, preferably अगर date है तो वो भी बहुत आसान हो जाता है. अभी आप प्रोफेशनल शुरुआत के स्टेप पे हो तो आपको शायद इसका सीरियसनेस या ग्रेविटी ना समझ में आए, बिकॉज आपके इनबॉक्स में शायद है ही 500 ईमेल्स और आपके डॉक्यूमेंट्स ही इतना गट्ठा है. सो यू फील क्या है इतना बड़ा लंबा, आई मीन so less documents to deal with. But obviously 1 साल, 2 साल, 5 साल, 10 साल, 15 साल के बाद your content, the documents are going to increase tremendously, and you will have to have an organized way to dealing with that. So naming the file folder is extremely important, and I feel putting a date to that name is really very helpful. So a bit about giving the name to files and folders. Use symbol system or short forms consistently. The key to success here is consistency. So I'm just sharing my way of using symbol system. मेरे folder खोल के अगर उसमें 15 files है and I need to see which was the final version, then I look for this symbol @ या at वाला जो symbol है, you will often find that as a name के beginning में, which tells me that this is the final version. Now I'll give you example. Now suppose हमारा CRE है, you all know we have 2nd and 3rd February को CRE. So the one who's making the CRE invite mailed me the invite, first draft, right? उसका नाम suppose क्या है? CRE invite. Okay, I download it and then I make correction and I send it back to her without changing the name. So, and then she downloads it. तो उसके इसमें 2 documents बन गए with the same name. उसके आगे copy 1, copy 2, copy 3 आएगा at the most, right? Then, again I get back for the final look. Then again I send some corrections. So all these versions are lying in my system and also with the system of other person. And ye ho gaya, then you narrow it down, then ho gaya CRE. And then after 6 months, if I say final version bhejo to hamare invite ka, I want to share it with somebody. Then if I have this symbol system, then I know which one is the final version. So I always use this symbol to indicate that this is my final version. I use the symbol M to indicate that modified document. So if you send me something, ma'am, just check this and, suggest me tips. I will download that document. I will suggest you modifications in review mode or, with red color or whatever. And while sending that document to you, I will add M for modified and AH for who has modified. So when the document reaches you, you don't have any confusion ki unmodified kaun sa hai and modified kaun sa hai. So if you consistently over the period use the symbol system, then it really, really makes your life simple. So how do we really manage our version 1, draft 2, draft 3 is very important. Also, at times, it is a good idea to delete earlier drafts. But again, I don't want to give you one tip ki, hamesha pehla wala version delete karo. No. For some reason, if you want to save it, please save it. But ek baar ho gaya, you surely have last 2, drafts, not final one and final one with appropriate name. Then I believe in deleting the earlier versions because of space and again because of access. Purane, salwar kameez nikalungi nahi, to naye dhunde mein, cupboard mein problem aayega. As simple as this. As I said, date I always feel should be part of the name of the document. Okay, and this is what I was telling you about renaming the downloaded folders. Absolutely important. Now, suppose if I get a mail from university and attached document and it says admission form. Okay, now this mail university has sent to 500 principals. So when I download and I fill up the form and I send it back, people actually don't rename the document. वो भी admission form करके भेज देते. And you can imagine the officer who is at university end keeps receiving it, the documents with the name admission form. And then how chaotic it could get and how difficult the access could be. So if I rename, I say Haxe admission form and then I mail it. Apna life simple, unka life simple. And in literacy, I remember talking to you about being aware about audience and intent. So same is the case here. You have to be aware who is the receiver and what is your intention of sending it. And you will appropriately rename the document folder or whatever. Assigning names to file folders. Yeah, again, the similar example is given here. This is kind of file names you can have like KM, like I said, age. I've just put KM here. Invite CRE Haxe July 2022. At times I've seen people thinking that title jitna chota hai utna better hai. No, absolutely not. लंबा टाइटल नहीं होना चाहिए, फोल्डर का नाम या फाइल का नाम नहीं होना चाहिए. बट आज अगर आप सोचेंगे कि क्या मैं इतना लंबा लिखूं, इनवाइट CRE हैक्से जुलाई 22, इसलिए आपने सिर्फ लिख दिया CRE एंड देन CRE का बजट है, CRE का इनवाइट है, CRE का लिस्ट है, CRE का इमेज है, CRE के फोटोज है, CRE का रिपोर्ट है, CRE का RCI लेटर है, सब एक CRE में ही चला जाएगा. And that will not work. And hence being specific with the names and having folders and subfolders, I feel makes life simpler. So how do you organize folders and subfolders? So obviously you have a file and then there could be subfolder, then folder, and you use the briefcase to finally, keep everything locked. Something that you may not need soon. So you just keep everything in the briefcase, and all these are online and soft version choices that you can make. So here is an example, and I'm truly telling you, people think बाप रे ये कितना complicated करके रख दिया है. ये complicated नहीं है, ये simple है. Complicated तब होता है जब एक फोल्डर में फचाफच आप सब डालते जा रहे हो. That is complicated. ये दिखने को complicated दिख सकता है, but when I have to find the document, sorry. One has to access the document, and again, after a long time, in absentia, in crisis, अगर आपको कोई document ढूंढना पड़ेगा, this system works well. So like for example, internal assessment marks. So HAXA-IA will be the main folder, HILD, 2 different folders. Then there are folders for the years, 21 batch, 22 batch, whatever. In that, then there are semesters. In that, then there are course-wise A1, A2, B, C, whatever. And in that, you will find the Excel sheet. So ऐसे दिखने में ऐसा लग सकता है कि ये complicated है, but बिल्कुल नहीं. If I want internal assessment score sheet of 2019 batch, LD, semester 4, paper D19, then I feel I have a ready path. So there are 10 folders. I will go to HAXA, IA, internal assessment. I will go to LD. I'll select the year. I'll select the semester. I select the course title, D17 or number, and that's it. I get what I want. But now imagine in one folder, अगर ये सब है, तो what will be the access, possibility of access? It will definitely take time, and you may not find things at the end. So this is, again, my father used to tell me that when do you wish to spend time? If you waste your time while saving, it will save your time later on. So आज लगता है कि क्या ये rename करो, 1 second का काम है. But many times you feel, what is this? I have to rename this. But वो 2 second का काम है to rename the file. And 10 साल के बाद अगर file लगी, तो it will help you. So when do you really want to spend time? If you want to spend time while saving, you have to save 30 seconds. And then you save a lot of time 10 years down when you are under stress. And maybe when you do not have access to your own laptop. तब ये काम आएगा जब अगर आपने नाम सही दिया है, कैटेगराइजेशन एंड क्लासिफिकेशन सही किया है. बट अगर वो 2 सेकंड के लिए आपको लगा ये वेस्ट ऑफ टाइम है, देन आगे चल के आपको 5-6 घंटा लग सकता है टू एक्सेस योर ओन डॉक्यूमेंट. So it is your choice that when do you want to spend time, 2 seconds now or 10 hours after 5 years. So this is how, like I said, my father used to say this. Inbox management, again, I said CC, BCC, I'm sure you all know that, very basic these days. I will not go into that. What is the purpose? You must please understand. These are professional skills. CC, BCC, appropriately use karna is a professional skill. When you CC somebody, उसी को से 3 लेवल होते हैं ना, किसको एड्रेस किया है, किसको CC किया है, किसको BCC किया है. So जिसको एड्रेस किया है, जिसको एक्चुअली CC करना है, उसको एड्रेस में ही डालना बहुत बड़ी गलती है, बहुत लोग करते हैं. जिसको एड्रेस किया है उसको एक्शन पॉइंट है, जिसको CC किया है उसको इंफॉर्मेशन है, एक्शन पॉइंट नहीं है. एंड जिसको BCC किया है उसको इंफॉर्मेशन है या एक्शन भी है, बट दूसरों को पता नहीं है कि इसको कॉपी किया है. I hope you people are using these options professionally. So suppose if I say that, I mail Kurrat that Kurrat see me tomorrow at 10 a.m. and I CC it to PM and I BCC it to GS. This simply means Kurrat has action point because the mail is addressed to her. PM has to know about it, that Kurrat is going to meet AH at 10 a.m. So there's no action, but maybe she has told me to tell something, so I want her to know कि okay ये हो रहा है. And maybe उसका कुछ reference है about which I want to keep GS in the loop. So but I don't want Kurrat and PM to know कि मैंने ये बात GS को बताई है for professional reasons. Then I will BCC GS. One must learn to handle these things professionally. And like I said in the beginning, there is no syllabus that teaches you. Experience से हम सब सीख जाते हैं, but कभी-कभी हम नहीं सीखते हैं और बहुत major goof up हो सकता है. Because जिसको हम address करते हैं mail, उसको हम अक्सर you कहते हैं, right? So if I write a mail to Kurrat saying you meet me at 10 a.m. tomorrow, and उसी में मैंने click करके PM को डाल दिया, then it means I'm telling PM to meet me. So if I say Poonam Mishra को CC किया है, that means she has to be clear that it is not action point for her, it is information point for her. Information and action. I hope you understand the difference between two. So when I say FYI, for your information. And when I say FYA, that means for your action. So action kiska hai and information kiska hai, that is the purpose of CC and BCC, which has to be used professionally. And one more good habit, I have this, and I'm sure many of you may know it also, but agar nahi hai to kariye, that important mails or important documents, you can mail it to yourself, either BCC it, so that for your reference, nobody knows that, you have mailed it to yourself for better access later on. So here it is. Yeah, okay, I didn't remember that I had this slide, so मैं ये ऐसा बोलती रही. But now you can see address मतलब to. तो यहाँ किसको लिखा है, CC में किसको लिखा है, and BCC. This is what I have been talking about, and this is the subject that I said कि please write subject specifically. Very important. And this is that standard sign off, which is again a professional skill. You must have that. And up to you to decide कि उसमें क्या लिखना है, qualifications लिखना है, कोई message लिखना है, designation लिखना है, whatever, your choice, but it has to be there. Okay, so what do you do with the received mails? जब हम mail received करते हैं तो हम क्या करते हैं? So there are many things that we do. Obviously we read. We delete some of the mails, very true. We have to mark some of the mails, and there has to be your own symbol system for that. Gmail, Yahoo Mail, they all provide tools for such thing, and really miserable if we don't use them professionally or even personally to organize our own life. So either we read it, we delete it, we mark it, we respond to it, or there is no action, it just lies in our inbox. Save in appropriate folder, that is again very important, and download the attachment. ये 7 चीजें हम करते हैं कोई भी मेल आता है तो. My only point to share here is randomly नहीं करिए, carefully करिए. When you read a mail, think कि मुझे करना क्या है, just let it lie in the inbox, या delete this, या इसको मैं मार्क करके रखती हूँ for some reason, या उसका जो अटैचमेंट है वो डाउनलोड करके मेल डिलीट करती हूँ और मेल फोल्डर में डालती हूँ. You will have to have a strategy and policy. Once again I'm telling you, आज अगर आपके इनबॉक्स में बहुत थोड़े मेल है तो आपको लगता है क्या ये लंबा रामायण, but obviously आपके पर्सनल, प्रोफेशनल्स, एम्प्लॉयमेंट रिलेटेड इनबॉक्सेस में ऐसे मेल्स बढ़ते जाएंगे, and it is better to plan right away. Okay, अगर quickly आपको पता नहीं कि what I'm talking about inbox के folder, so आप ऊपर देखेंगे, you will get this option move to, and then you have to create the folders. Again, that is also very simple. So here are a few folders that you can see. So when I click here on move to, options I have, and I have, I think around maybe 50 to 60 folders here, so that specifically the mails and the documents that I need to preserve, I put it in the folder. So, and you can see at this corner, you will find these here. So if I am accessing something, suppose related to AHA, Alumni Association of Hasu Advani College, then I click here and everything related to AHA I find here. In inbox, you don't have, I think you have one level of subfolder. But in your own hard disk, there is no limit that you can make subfolders. So when you go to AHA, then I may have 3 folders there, that Alumni Association related rules and regulation, separate folder, list of alumni, separate folder, and activities carried out by AHA, separate folder. So that is how one must organize. So this is where you find move to, and this is where you find your folders. So how do you find the folder quickly is something very important. And how do you mark a frequently used folder? That is also very important. 2 things. One, I may need it quickly or I may need it all the time. दिन में 4 घंटा एक folder आपको लगता है. Make a distinction between the two so that you can name them appropriately. And what choices Yahoo, Google, or any service provider for that matter will give you a color coding system. You can see मेरे जो folders हैं उनके colors हैं. ये Hackse Master जो है, जो मुझे रोज नहीं लगता है but हमेशा crisis में लगता है. So I have, because Hackse का लोगो का color भी purple है, so I have marked it with purple. So जल्दी में I know where, quickly I can take my cursor to Hackse Master. Then images is the folder if I need all the time. ये 2-3 folder को मैंने color करके रखा है for my easy access. तो ये color scheme वहाँ है, दी हुई है. It is just that rarely we use it, and फिर folder, फटाक से देखने हैं, तो this color really helps us. Okay. Yeah, many a times when we are looking for any mail, we are looking for something that, like I said, I can quickly tell you, ki, Are, I had sent you some mail, 3 months ago about sports day. Just send that mail to me, no? If I say that, then how do you really look for that mail? Or if I have sent some mail to somebody and now I want to have an access, what are the other ways to do it? So there are color codes and system in inbox as well. You can decide, like, again, I'm sharing my way of dealing with the things. Please don't think that is ideal way. Please don't think this is the only way. And please don't think अगर ये आप नहीं करेंगे तो मैं चिल्लाऊंगी. बिल्कुल नहीं. It is up to you to figure out your own color system, code system. My only sharing of wisdom is have a system. Have a consistent color and coding system. Like for me, I can share it with you. Blue mail को जब मैं blue star डालती हूँ, it means action on my part. तो रात को भी phone पे when I'm seeing my mails and I said, अच्छा ये कल करना है, so I put a blue mark so that subah when I come to college and I open my mail, I know blue stars को देखना है and action points lie there. Then, the yellow star is generally I put for the important ones. Rest all you can see, जिनको हम star नहीं डालेंगे, वो नीचे है. Then any link जो आजकल बहुत एक दूसरे को meeting के link, lecture के links भेजते रहते हैं, वो all links I mark as pink so that मेरे inbox में मुझे links अलग से दिखाई देते हैं. So this is what, again, I'm saying, it is my system that I follow. Blue is for action and pink is for link. You may not use the same color system, but color systems are given. See, you can go to the settings of my inbox. Settings is here. I know you all know it. So settings में जाके आप देखेंगे, so they have given so many symbol systems. I have been using only these many, and I am not using these two. So इसमें से कोई भी आप 1, 2, 3, 4 whatever are your requirements आप ले सकते हो and use कर सकते हो. This is also one of the ways of organizing your Yeah, I think we will have to wind up in 5 minutes. Auto signature, I think I already spoken to you. It's a professional thing that you must have it, and that should give adequate information. If you want to give your mobile number, you give. If you don't want to give, don't give. But have a sign of standard signature at the end. A few tips for your personal documents, which are extremely important. Again, financial, academic, employment related. Laminate the copies. This is also a very good habit to laminate the copies. Scan and mail all important document to yourself. जो भी आपके बैंक डिटेल्स है, एम्प्लॉयमेंट डिटेल्स है, हॉल टिकट्स है, एकेडमिक डिटेल्स है, अप्रोप्रिएट सब्जेक्ट डाल के, appropriate file name डाल के, you scan it to yourself, and when you receive it, put it in the appropriate folder. That is the information you carry with you. There are digital lockers also. University and UGC also recommends that, which is again very important. So write specific subject to mail. Manage multiple users accounts well. This you will learn when you know maybe अभी ज्यादा आपको यूज नहीं होता है. मल्टीपल यूजर मेल आईडी मींस एक ही ईमेल आईडी है, 4 लोग यूज कर रहे हैं. So that actually has to be really managed well. Declutter your desktops. डेस्कटॉप पे बहुत सारा डाउनलोड गिर के पड़ा है, ये भी है वो भी है. Please don't do that. Have a system where your PC asks you where to download, and then you tell the system where to download. Many people I have seen कि अपने PC में और अपने लैपटॉप में इतना बेसिक सेटिंग नहीं किया है. That जो भी whatever I download, if it goes into a folder called download, खिचड़ी और कचरा पड़ा है वहां पे. But there is a setting. So when I click on download, the system asks me where I want to download this, and then I download it in the directly correct folder that I or anybody wants. So and use symbol system. So a quick recap: be aware of your own personality. Don't try to change it, because what I'm trying to tell you, it is not about changing or improving yourself, but it is just making your own life and management of documents simpler. Decide a policy of organizing things in life. Don't do it in a haphazard way. Don't do it in a random way. Have your own unique style of saving and preserving your data. And I'm sure you are aware about UI categories of the documents. There are, in life, the task, the documents, the process, everything relationships, everything can be categorized into urgent and important, urgent but not important, important but not urgent, and neither urgent nor important. अगर ये पर्सपेक्टिव आपके पास है, तो again it will help you organize. So at the end, I would just say it is your choice whether you want to look like this. I'm not going to judge anybody. Maybe this person is happier at some point, this person is happier at some point. Set your goals, set your targets, and make a choice whether you want to look like this in life or you want to look like this in life. Yes, I think I am on time. SP ma'am, 5 minutes ज़्यादा ले लिए. You all can turn on your videos if you want. A quick 2 minutes, 3 minutes discussion we can have if you want. कुछ बताना है, पूछना है, शेयर करना है, मुझे कॉम्प्लीमेंट देने हैं, और बताना है कि मैम क्या बताया आपने. So now is the time to do that. Anybody turn on your videos if you can. Thank you, Abhi, Kurrat. Thank you, Swati. Nice to find you here. So happy you are here, Swati. Okay, Akshita, Shraddha, Smita. Okay, चलो. किसी को कुछ पूछना है, ऐड करना है. I would really like it. अगर किसी को बताना है कि this is my strategy and this is how I use it. Anybody? Oh, good. That means everything is gone well with you. एक तो take home points आपने लिए होंगे, I'm sure. I want a thumbs up. अगर एक भी take home point मिला है तो. Minimum 1. My target is set very low. not all the points, but at least, yeah, Prathamesh, Rajita, Kavita, Libya, yeah, Chinmay, Sidra. So I'm so happy. Chalo. Thank you then. That is it. So क्या अभी बंद करना है SP? Yeah, should I?
Ma'am,
Thank you, Libya.
I want to share something here.
Sure.
Yeah. So again, this is very useful webinar for me, as I'm not at all organized, not at all systematic. But really, I got many tips, to become like that. So thank you very much for this very useful and very informative session. On behalf of Hashu Advani College, I would like to thank Dr. Smita Huddar ma'am for her contribution in this session and for enlightening us about managing soft documents. It will definitely helpful for our future references. So I bring this session to an end and I will now stop recording. A humble request to all participants, please on your cameras for group photo.